tablespoon, a pound of salt. So salt works together. And so we were talking about togetherness and coming together. And so the scripture says, behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren. We are brethren. That's why we call ourselves brothers and sisters. We are brethren. And it is good and it is pleasant for us to dwell together in unity. It doesn't mean that we live in the same place. It doesn't mean we live in the same house. It means that we live together in a space of unity, or we get along with one another, we speak the same thing, we laugh with one another, we talk with one another, we watch out for one another. That's dwelling in unity. Like Paul says, speak the same thing, be of the same mind. So that's what this is about. Dwelling together in unity. We saw that it is a blessing. That's where the blessing comes. It's refreshing. Like the oil running down Aaron's head. Aaron was the brother of Moses and the first high priest. And so we want to talk a little bit about living together, because that's one of the biggest problems we have now. We are divided by denomination. I'm a Pentecostal, I'm an Anglican, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a the other. I'm a full gospel, and I up to now I still want somebody to explain to me what is full gospel. So we all identify ourselves separately. Instead of saying I'm a child of God, I'm a follower of Christ, or as we say in this ministry, I'm a kingdom citizen. So how can we dwell together in unity? Well, let's talk about that a little bit tonight, and I need you to converse with me. And so I want to suggest the first thing that we need to do if we are to live together in unity is this. We have to understand, we have to recognize that even if we are living together in unity, we are not all the same. Dwelling in unity, living in unity doesn't mean everybody look alike, walk alike, talk alike, dress the same way. I remember when I was working many years ago, when my wife was working many years ago at a particular place, we used to dress in the same color every day. So if she's wearing a green dress, I would have on a green shirt. If she have on a blue dress, I would have on a blue shirt. And there are some people who like to do that. We like, it did something for us, you know, it kind of bonded us a little bit, but it doesn't mean that we had to do it. And it doesn't mean that you have to do it. You don't have, you know, in order for us to identify like different schools, we identify the schools by their uniform. So they are in the same uniform. They look the same because they have on the same uniform, but they're not all the same. And what we're talking about is not uniformity, having everybody look the same. We are talking about unity, which is different. Because you could dress the same way and don't act the same way at all. Two different, totally different people, or totally different bunch of people. So we have to recognize the fact that we are not all the same. I am not you. You are not me. No matter how close we are. My wife and I are two different people. So no matter how close you are, whether it's your spouse or your friend, your co-worker, you are not the same person. No matter how much we love each other, no matter how much we respect each other, no matter how much time we spend together, we are not the same. And that's the first thing we have to realize. Dwelling together doesn't mean I have to be like you and you have to be like me. I want to say that again. Dwelling together in unity doesn't mean that I have to be like you and you have to be like me. We are different. We are not the same. And so we have to accept that we are different and to accept that there are things that make us different. So let's talk a little bit about some of the things that make us different. The first thing I want to suggest to you is that we are different because of what I would call your inheritance, your hereditary, what you inherited from your parents. And so we have different characteristics. I don't look like you, and you don't look like me. I inherited my father's look. My aunt and they tell me sometimes they look at me, well, they've said it before, and they see my father. I remember once I wasn't well at all, and one of my sisters came, and she was outside in the vehicle, and I was walking towards the vehicle. She came to me, and I came downstairs. We live in an upstairs apartment, so when we say downstairs, we don't mean downstairs the house, we mean downstairs outside. I walked downstairs the step, and I was walking towards it. It was in the night, and when I got her, she said, "Noel, you look just like Daddy. I thought I was Daddy coming walking there." Now my father had died already, but they saw him in me because I looked like him, but I didn't look like somebody else. So sometimes I look the way I look because of my father. I got my father's genes, but you had a different father, and so we look different. But because we look different, we had problems talking to one another and working with one another, and then we would have a problem because everybody is different. Everybody look different. Also, where you live in your own home, there are differences. What you do in your home might be different to what I do in my home. One of the things that I do, and I'm sure some of you do it as well, is if you go into somebody's home, you're going to visit somebody, and you see the people, they came outside to greet you, but when they reach by the door, they take off their slippers. Don't walk inside the house with the people with your shoe on. You might walk in fact, in my house, we are always wearing slippers. We have inside slippers and outside slippers. Because of where we live, we don't ever take our slippers off. But I can't go in your house and do that if I walk inside and I see slippers at the door. It means that that's what you do. And if I am in your house, then I've got to do that. So we are different because we do different things in our own home, but it doesn't mean that we can't love each other, get along with each other, dwell together in unity. So that is just one example of something that you do in your house. I want to ask you, come, we have a little bit of time this evening. Can you think of anything that you do in your house that other people don't do in their houses? Talk to me, somebody. Talk to me. Are there things, is there anything, just one thing? Or maybe you went by somebody and you noticed something that is different from what you have or do in your own house. Talk to me. There must be somebody and something. I just gave you one example. But have you ever experienced that? Joshua will tell me if anybody seen anything.
We have Elder Sherry Sanders of Dr. Richard.
Elder Sherry.
Good evening, family.
Somebody's cherries. Yes, go ahead.
As you were saying, culture, because even when you grow up, you have a culture in growing up that would be in your home. But when you become an adult and you have your own home, you do things differently and you create your own culture. So in my mother's house, the TV on, the radio on. There's a radio in every room, those little side radio, and everybody on a different station, right?
You're serious, really?
That is how it was. It always have something on. Growing up then, it was all right. But then when I started to live on my own, that is so intolerable, So
yeah, you have to create your own culture. Yeah,
I can't deal with that. And after going like as an adult going in my mother's home, the first thing I would do when I walk in is start turning off things because it's just too much for me, So that's one of the things I could think about.
Yeah, people have told me I have a radio in every room, and they're always on. The only thing is that they always on one station. But people do that. In the kitchen is a radio, the bedroom is a radio, the living room is a radio, everywhere. All right. Now, it's your mother's house, so you could start turning off things, but you dare not go into somebody's house, somebody else's house, and start turning off radios because it's not your family. All right. So that's just the way it is. Anyone else? Joshua?
I see one person said eating in your living room.
Okay, what does that mean?
Okay. We have two hands up, Dr. Richard. Maybe you can wait
Yeah.
for that person to kind
Yeah,
of
I think I know
that.
what it means, but I want them to say. Okay, who are the
Yeah.
two people?
We have Sister Ursula and then Sister Colleen.
Mm-hmm.
Evening, family.
Good evening.
One thing with our family, I should say, not just with our family, but our cousins, aunts, uncle, we always have food in the house. So when you pass by us, you get food or you either get a glass of juice to have.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't really get to go with all that.
Yeah,
not a good thing.
that's a long-term thing. You grow up with that. Everybody in the village, you go by anybody, you get something to eat. I
Yeah,
hear
but not
you.
everybody know.
All right, thank you, Ursula.
Thank you.
Please, the other person?
Colleen?
Sister Colleen.
Night, family. So this is just a peculiar thing for me, but no matter what, I cannot leave dirty dishes in the sink overnight. If I'm tired, exhausted, and I'm going to my bed 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and I see things in the sink, I have to wash it. I cannot go to my bed. And part of it too stems from the fact that I despise roaches. I know that the Lord made them and that they have a purpose. You're still trying to figure out what that purpose is, but they have a purpose.
Me too.
Purpose. But when you leave food and stuff, it will breed, insects to come in. So I don't. As a matter of fact, I practice to wash it as I use it. So sometimes you don't get a chance to, but that's what I try to do so that, I don't have anything in the sink. But there are persons who are perfectly fine with it. But I go to other people.
Yeah, I was not going to ask you about that. So if you go by someone is spending the night or something and their dishes in the sink, are you going to wash it?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Well, that is interesting. That is very interesting. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Sister Colleen. And don't tell me you all didn't hear that Jamaican accent, distinct Jamaican accent. Don't tell me that. Come on. Come on.
You have Sister Janet Thomas and then Elder Sherry again.
Sister Janet.
Good night, everyone. How you all going? God is good. Okay, growing up, after a certain time, you're going in the bedroom and you're eating. But then when you have your own home, you practice it trying to come to the table in the dining room.
Yeah, don't do that anymore. Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Somebody else, you said, Joshua.
Elder Sherry?
Elder Sherry.
Well, Sister Janet, I'm the opposite of you. My bed is my comfort place. I eat, I do anything on my bed. Just nobody else must do it though. All right, but I was as Sister Colleen was talking about the where's in the sink, and you asked the question if it would go in somebody else. I too detest. So even me and my 2 o'clock hour when I go to my bed, I might have been drinking some tea or something. If I go to, I say I'll wash that in the morning, but by the time I put it down, it's not in me. But I have this friend. Every time I go to their house, and they usually use their kitchen for access, right? They never really come through the front. There's always where's in the sink, and not 2 plates. The wares always. So one day I went there and I got so upset. I started to wash all the wares. I said, listen, when I come back here, don't ever let me see where's in this thing again. So one time I went and apparently she was just drinking something, and as she heard me, she came to open the gate and she rested the glass in the sink. So as I came in, she said, I know put that there. I know rest that there. So I just saying, there's one place I went and changed things.
Wow. You know, I mean, it was your friend, your close friend. So I suppose you had that kind of relationship that you could have done that and said that. But if you walk into somebody who, you know, you're not that close with, you're not that close to, and I wonder if you all would do that. I wonder if you, both you and Colleen, would start doing the people dishes, washing the people wears, you know, because that's the way you do it in your house. I don't know. I don't know. You have to think about that. But I just wonder. Okay, anyone else, Joshua?
We have a comment that says telling each one, even the children, good morning or good night. So telling everybody good morning and good night.
Oh, so you grew up in that environment where everybody said good morning and good night, and that's a good thing to practice. Even if you don't do it now, it's a good thing. If you get up in the morning, I mean, you say good morning. It's like you're wishing people good for the day. So you say good morning, teach your children. And if they do it in your home, they'll do it outside. Our boys and I hope they still do it when you go in a maxi, or you know, you say good morning or good afternoon, or when you leave and say thank you, driver. You know, you have to instill these things in your children. All right. So we're talking about the differences in people. People are different in households. You grow up in households, your house might be different to mine. Mine house would be different to yours. Even in the Bible, with Jacob, remember Jacob and Esau? They say Esau was red and hairy, but Jacob had smooth skin. So even in families, there are differences as well. All right, you couldn't, and that's why Jacob had to put on the skin of the animal so his father he could fool his father. So, you know, even in families, even though you're in the same family, there might be differences. Look at our boys. For those of you who know Joshua, Jonathan, and Judah, I tell you, I don't know if you would agree with me, and I know my wife agrees with me. They don't look like brothers. They do not look, even though they, they come from the same father and mother, even though they live together, you know, they say those who assemble begin to resemble. They don't resemble. And I can tell you that if you were to walk into a room and there are many people, many young men in a room, and we were to say to you, pick out Joshua, Jonathan, and Judah. I am telling you, if you've never seen them before, you will not be able to tell that they are brothers. They don't look alike. They don't sound alike. And they're just different. Of course, there are a lot of things that they all like together, but they just, so even in families, you're not the same. You don't look the same. Not, you know, there are some people, you look at them and you say, there's this one son, and there's this one son. I tell them, I have said before, I have 4 sons, and not 3, 4, and one daughter. And to me, other people don't agree with me. To me, none of them look like me. None, not one. People say Jonathan looks like me a little bit. I don't know, I can't see it. But as far as I'm concerned, they don't look like me at all. I would have to introduce you even to my big son, and he has been on this platform already. All right. And to my daughter, I would have to introduce you because they don't look like me. So even within the same family, you have differences. Even in the same family, you may have differences. You may not look like your mother or your father. You may not look like your sister or your brother. Some people say that Judah looks like his biggest brother, David, my first son. But my wife seemed to think so. But, you know, so I'm saying we have got to understand that we are different. It should not stop us from working together. It should not stop us from dwelling together. We are different. We are all different. The second thing about the differences is kind of like the first as well, but I'm extending it outside of your family, the environment that you grow up in, the customs, the practices, the things that people do in the community. One community to the next is different. And what is practiced in your community determines to a large extent the way you think, the way you act. Some communities, you go home, you walk in home, it have fellas linemen under the lamppost, playing cards, doing things, and that is, you're accustomed to that. You invite somebody to come home by you and they want to know, what them fellas doing there? You know, I wonder if it's safe. And because they're not accustomed to go into a community where people linemen in the night at a certain time in the night, everybody's home. So there are differences. We are differences. And we have to understand that our differences, they make us different, but they also connect us. Look in the Caribbean as well. It's different countries in the region, but one Caribbean. So, and I'm going to Caribbean, but even different parts of our country, even the way we say things, the way we speak, I can tell, I'm sure you can tell a Tobagonian accent from a Trinidadian. And I can tell that Colleen is a Jamaican. But even here, we say things and we do things. For example, I know as is a South thing, people ask you, you're sleeping or you're waking? Now, I never heard that until I connected with some people from South. And I remember it was on the air, when I was on the air doing a program called The Sizzle. And Professor, you know, I waken. I'm not sleeping tonight, I waken. And we don't say that. It's either you're up or you're sleeping. But they say sleeping or waking. And of course, the classic one where the thing you iron with is an iron. We all know that. But in South, my wife and her family and everybody else, and I'm sure those of you from South, call it a heater. So there are differences even in the things that we interact with, the way we say things, the way we call things. We are different. We are not the same. I know 25 cents is a 25 cents or a quarter. In South, it's a bob. In fact, I used to hear bob when I was small. And I think they still call it a bob. So if somebody asks you for a bob, don't go looking for somebody named Bob. I mean, they want 25 cents. And I guess you used to hear it more a long time because people used to use a lot of 25 cents or bobs because they were the phones, you know, those phone booths, and they had to put in the 25 cents, so everybody was looking for bobs. How about, and when I was growing up, in our yard, we had a mango vert tree. I don't know how many of you know mango vert. But to those in South, and in fact, different, I guess all around Trinidad now, is long mango. But I know it as vert because we had a vert tree. And you know, times have changed so much. I didn't want vert. We had the vert in our yard, and we used to pick the vert to go and pelt at the mango. Now, I had to pay for vert mango long, or long mango. So I'm just trying to highlight some of the differences. We are different. When you're going after a girl, let's say you're tracking. In South, you call it pulling, you know, pulling at her. I just want to pulling at that girl boy. And I feel she pulling at him, you know. We say tracking. You're tracking somebody. Differences. It just means we are different. It should not set us apart. I remember once I went to a seminar. I was hosting the seminar. It was at the Hilton. And somebody asked me to come and host the seminar for them. And when I say host, not present, but host, you know, introduce this one and that one and talk about certain things. And halfway through, when it was lunchtime, there were some people, well, there's a friend of mine and he had employees. And one of his employees was from Tobago. And we are eating in Hilton, and The man bypassed all the knife and fork and was eating with a spoon, not soup. He was eating with a spoon. And I was like, I told my friend who had him, I said, there's a spoon eating with in Hilton. I mean, you could do that if you're home, if you want, but not in Hilton. And he said, I said, where he is. And he was quite comfortable in Hilton. The knife and fork still remained there. And he was eating with his spoon, rice I talk about, rice and whatever it is. It doesn't make him bad. It doesn't make him, it just makes him different. I was taken aback because I always eat it with knife and fork unless it's the soup. I'm saying that just in case, you all know. Me, because that's the way I was taught. Now, it doesn't mean it's wrong to eat rice or macaroni pie with us. It is not wrong. Just know that. But you see, because of the environment we grew up with, we understand that we do certain things culturally. And they teach you in terms of etiquette that you have to eat rice and things, hold the knife in your right hand, the spoon in the left hand. You know it is, and you cut with the knife. Well, you bypass all of that. That's too much work for some people. When you're drinking soup, you use a spoon, and you have to know which one is the soup spoon as well. And when you eating soup, it's not you don't bring the soup to you. You carry it away. The spoon has to go out. I mean, that's too much for some people. That is too much for me too. So we are different. We do things differently. We do things differently. I went to Grenada some years ago. And what we call chenet, they call skin up. Yeah. Some people say gin up, and some people call it skin up. We wouldn't want to say that in Trinidad, but that's what Grenadans call chenet. And of course, the one that these days, big thing for those of you who are following the cricket. I know we have mostly ladies in this chat, but there's some ladies who like sports too. But there's this big, I don't want to call it a controversy because it's friendly, between Guyana and Trinidad and Tobago. We say curry chicken. They say chicken curry. And there's this big thing, people come with big posters. It's curry chicken. Somebody put, stew chicken, baked chicken, whatever other chicken, curry chicken. And then they have their big sign saying why it's chicken curry. Right? So everybody, people, it just makes us different. We are not better than one another. It makes us different. And we have to understand that even in the environment that we grew up in, there are some people like the Bible readers are now learning that there are things in your backyard, walking down the street, right there in your neighborhood that are good and healthy. Isn't that so, Bible readers? They're now learning about the different herbs. And you notice I said herbs, the different herbs right there in their yard, right in our yard. Some people knew about that when I was growing up. Listen, you have a fever, you go in the backyard and you pick something, but people who grew up in a concrete jungle will not know that. So we are just different. And I'm just telling you that so that you understand that we can dwell together in unity, even though we are different. People have different tastes. Individuals naturally have different preferences. I love avocado. I love avocado. And in case I didn't say it before, I love avocado. Somebody was it today on air or yesterday, saying how she don't like avocados. And I can't understand for the life of me how there's anybody in this world that does not like avocados. I think my sister-in-law, Carol, if I'm not correct, First Lady, she doesn't like avocado, and I think somebody gave her a big nice avocado, and she used it to what, wash her hair or something like that. That is madness to me. But she just doesn't like avocados. And I love them. Did I tell you I love avocado? Yes, I did. Okay. Some fruits. Some fruit. Jonathan is not a fruit person. He is not a fruit person. I live in a house where people love fruits. I love avocados, a fruit here. I love mangoes. I love all different. I grew up with fruits all around me. All around me. So I love fruits. But here's somebody who is my son who doesn't like fruits at all. We're just different. Doesn't make me better than him or him better than me. We just have different tastes. Our taste buds are different. There's some people who they love to dress. They love clothes. They love the latest style. They will mix and match and do all that. That ain't no big thing with me. Clothes is not a big thing with me. So much so that my wife just had to ask me, is that you're wearing? Or you should change that. But as I tell you, I tell you, man, whenever your wife asks you the question, is that you're wearing? Go and change. All right? Take it from me. We're just different. Look, my wife, if she's watching a movie, from the time she hears it's a true story, wow, she wants to see what it is. From the time she hears it, I don't care for true stories. Because to me, they don't have the kind of drama and thing when you make up a movie, a story. That's just me. We're just different. We just love different things. My wife would sit down and watch Judge Judy. Well, I kind of get to like Judge Judy now. But that's what she likes. So when she finds it in, which is not very often, she will watch Judge Judy. She would put on Judge Judy while she's doing something. While she's working or cleaning or whatever, Judge Judy is on. In fact, some of these true story movies, even when I have to ask her, you watch any movie? But she just loves that. We are all different. She would watch the Food Network because I'm glad she would pay attention to the Food Network because she tries all different kind of things that are sometimes really tasty and nice. But what I'm saying, we are all different. We are all different. It should not divide us. Our differences should not divide us. Different things move us. We are attracted to different things. I tell you, right now, right now, of course, was it Joshua? My first two sons, or first two of the three, love football. They play football. They're in a football club. Jonathan didn't really care for that. But I said first two, no, first and third. But Joshua and Judah, they go and train. And they know, listen, these guys know all the football players from all the football clubs around the world. They know, and they have the team that they support. Joshua is Manchester City, and Judah is what's the name of your club again? But they support different clubs. Real Madrid. I love football as well. So when I get the time, I sit down and watch it with them. And it's a form of bonding as well. But Jonathan didn't care for that. First Lady didn't care for that. I love the cosmos. Anything with the stars and the universe and the different planets and the size of the universe and where this is. I love that. I'm fascinated by that. I'm fascinated by wildlife. Anything that come up on my phone with wildlife, with animals in the wild, and you see the predator and the prey, and some people can't take that. Some people complain, how come you're filming this thing and you're going to help the poor zebra? You should go and help the zebra, the lion attacking the zebra, and you filming. That's the natural order of things out there. And I watch it. I love it. So what I'm saying is beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. And we need to understand that. Don't let it be a source of contention. You can't tell somebody, so how come you don't like that? Because they're different. We do the same thing different way. That's who we are. We are all different. I am not you. I might love you, but I'm not you. People find ways to do things that other people find, I don't know how you can do that. or I don't know how she could eat that, or I don't know how. Now, I'm not talking about those things, the Bible readers, those awful, nasty things that people eat, like bat and all these things. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about people eat different things. They taste, but you can't get me to eat pumpkin. My wife has gotten me to eat so many different things, but pumpkin, I still don't have the taste for it. There's just something about pumpkin that I can't eat just so. You mix it in something fine. My mother-in-law used to make pumpkin punch, and I loved it. I loved it. But I can't eat it just like that. Somebody's mic is open. Oh. Thank you. So we are just different, and that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. We are different. We are different also because of our experiences. Different people experience different things, and that has caused them to be different. You know, some people are affected by something, maybe something bad, something traumatic. There's some people, so we ought not to judge people when they are, you know, you're going into the water, you're going by the beach, and everybody going in the water, and this person don't want to go. What happened to you? A coward or what? But you don't know what that person would have experienced before. Maybe they saw somebody drown. Maybe they lost a loved one. So we ought not to judge people before we know their story. People would have had different experiences which you may not have had. So it makes us different, but it doesn't make any one of us better than the other. We are different. What you have experienced in your life, I have not experienced, etc., etc. We are different. We have different experiences. There's a saying, once bitten, twice shy. It means when somebody experiences something bad, they're timid to do it again. You can't blame them for that because you have no problem doing it, whatever it is. Some people, they're walking on the road and they see a dog and they turn back. And you're like, a dog, a puppy? But you don't know, maybe they were attacked by a dog once. So I'm saying that we are different. Do not judge people. Do not let our differences divide us. Do not let our differences divide us. There are people who would experience different things, and listen, they use them as stepping stone. I know people who are blind. Some Bernadette's husband is blind. Dr. Josiah, who used to be here in the early, he's blind. But they didn't let it stop them. Kern, my good friend, who I was talking with on air today, is blind. Some people are able to use whatever they experience, the trauma in their life as a stepping stone. It doesn't change them. In fact, it makes them better. Some people, it makes them worse. People react differently based on what they have experienced. Look at Curtin's story. Look at Curtin's story. He has written a book now. He still can't walk, but Curtin could inspire people. Look at Sister Mary. She can't walk either. She's bedridden. But look what she is doing in her life, and look what she's done for this ministry. So experiences make people different, but we ought not to judge people because you don't know their story. You don't know what they went through. And I am sure some of you here have your story. I am positive that, you know, sometimes you would have experienced something and people don't understand why you are the way you are. In fact, let me ask, does anybody want to share a testimony? Maybe you would have experienced something, and let me tell you one quickly, my story. I think I shared this already here. When I was just a teenager, we went on a boat ride down La Tinta, and we came off the boat, and some of them came off and went before. And when I came off the boat, I jumped in the water and I just started to sink. I didn't know how to swim, and so I was piling up, and somebody grabbed me by my hair and pulled me up, saved my life. I had a big afro in those days. He saved my life. Now, when I go to the beach or anywhere around water, my children, listen, I keep my eyes on them. I don't take my eyes off of them. There's something about water now, whether it's a pool or the beach, there's just something, I feel so protective. I feel like I cannot take my eyes off my children. Because, and I believe it's because of what I experienced. I nearly drowned. And my children too. I think Judah had an issue where he nearly drowned. Was it Judah? I know Jonathan, we went to this party, a children's party. His school had one of the children in the school. That time he used to go to this private school. I'll tell you about that another time. The kind of people that went to that school, they could afford to have parties. Let me put it that way. And so I went with him to this party in this well-to-do area, and they had a pool. And I was there talking. I don't remember what I was doing. I only heard this big commotion. And when we went by the pool, Jonathan fell into the pool, and a lady had to dive into the pool to save him. She dived into the pool and saved my son's life. I tell you, that's why when I'm around water. And I felt so bad because usually I would just keep my eye, but I didn't think he wasn't supposed to go in the pool. So maybe that's why. They were all playing, they were climbing trees, all kind of things. And all the parents were sitting together. And Jonathan fell into the pool. And poor lady. Hello?
Doctor, just to let you know, it was also Judah. There was a separate incident with Judah as
With
well.
Judah, right.
Yeah,
Somewhere up in the east.
Yeah. So with both of them.
Both of them. And the one with Judah, I was there, but I wasn't there. It's only after it happened. And the reason why I'm saying, the poor lady, I had to thank her. She dived into the pool and saved Jonathan. And people had to run quick and bring a towel. Not for Jonathan, but for the lady. Because the clothes she had on was very thin. Very, very thin. And so when she dived into the pool, she came out and, well, as though she had on nothing. You had to run for a big towel. But the thing is, I think she knew that. But her instinct was somebody needed saving, so she dived into the pool. And that was a traumatic experience for me. That's why I don't like my children around water. I feel very funny. If they go to the beach and they go in out, I tell them, come back and come back. I don't want the water I don't want that to reach a navel at all. So I was asking, is there anybody else who maybe had an experience that would have affected them? Made them different, that people don't understand why they act the way they act? Anybody? All right. If you don't want to...
We have Elder Gail, her hand is up.
Elder Gail.
Good night, everyone. Dr. Richards, I had a similar situation like yours, and because of that, I hate the pool and I don't like the sea. I remember I was much younger at the time, and I was going to our church. We had a youth group, and they would always, go out and have these little get-togethers, this time of fellowship. And we have this friend who had a pool, the same place that we know. And it was my first experience with a pool. I think I was in my 20s, my mid-20s at that time. And I didn't know anything about the pool. So I saw persons in the pool and down the further end, thinking that it was shallow like the other side. I jumped in. And when I got in, I realized I wasn't touching ground. And I was just sinking. But there was this particular guy who was part of the group. He was sort of looking in my direction. So he saw when I was struggling to come, and he jumped in and assisted me out. I don't like the pool, I will go anywhere, I will not bathe in the pool, and I don't like the sea. And I think that has contributed greatly for my, the way my whole attitude towards pool and sea. Don't like it at all. You know, so that's it.
Dr. Richard, you're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, and that's the thing. People ought not to judge you for that. They don't know the trauma that you suffered at that time. And so if you don't like food like me and the sea like me, we would go to the sea and the children would go in and we would sit on the sand, my wife and I, First Lady and I. But my eyes is always on them, always. Right? And if I feel it going out, I get up and call them in. That's just the way it is. Anybody else?
We have Brother Jack. His hand is up.
Brother Reginald Jack.
Good night, Dr. Richards, First Lady, and others. I had an experience. I was a little boy, and I remember I was bathing in a beach in Tobago, right? And I was walking on the seabed. And after a while, I suddenly meet a very deep area, and I start sinking because the seabed was very flat, and I was just walking out. And you know, just suddenly, I just meet this deep area, and I started to sink. And I can remember a girl, she held my hands and she pulled me out of the water because I nearly drowned. And I was so grateful that she saved my life.
Yeah.
She just pulled me out of the water, you know. And you know,
thank God she was there. Thank God she was there at that time.
God she was there to save me.
I wonder how many of us on this. Go ahead.
And I just want to share this other one. I can remember a lady, a young girl, she asked me for 10 cents. I was a little boy and she asked me for 10 cents. So I find it strange. What could she buy with her 10 cents? She asked me for 10 cents. But what she really meant, she wanted $10. But the reason why she said 10 cents, she wanted to emphasize that $10, you know, come like have the value of a 10 cents, you know? So what she, at 10 cents, give me a 10 cents. I find this woman crazy. Is what she actually meant is $10 she wanted. But she just wanted to emphasize that the value, the value.
Oh, you know? So she was saying $10 and make, so $10 is not much money.
Yeah, it's not much money. That's like have the value of just 10 cents. Yeah, just those two things I wanted to share.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Brother Jack. Anybody else before we wrap up?
Auntie Gail and Sister Christine.
Auntie Gail, wow, yes, let's hear you.
Yeah, when I was young, like around 10 years old, every August holidays, my daddy had a friend with a guest house in Maracas.
Dr. Richard, I don't know if you're hearing, but
yeah, I'm straining to hear Auntie Gail.
This morning I get up, everybody was in.
Hold up, Auntie Gail. All right, we hardly hearing you. So are they put the device closer to your mouth?
Put it right in my mouth.
All right, go ahead. Let's see if we can hear.
You hearing me? You hearing me?
Go ahead, yeah.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. Anyhow, we had this tube and there was a them big truck, a tube from them big truck, right?
Right.
So we had this tube, right? So I came out. We weren't supposed to come out until everybody come out. It had other people from the other beach houses was around. And I came out and I saw the little tire and I went and lied on the tire. And when I catch myself, I was way out. And I get scared and I jump out. And when I jump out, my foot couldn't touch the ground. And I started beat up and call for help. Nobody heard me. I beat up until I catch my foot could have touched the ground. When I tell you I was tired, first I beat up, I was well fire. Ooh. Yeah. Well, I never say anything. I went under the house and I stayed under the house. And one or two people come out and they want to know what are tire doing quite out there. And I never said nothing. Up to this day, I never tell my daddy anything because I know other Galix. So I never said anything. And since that, I am afraid of the sea, but I love the pool. I would live in a pool, and I taught my children, when I had my children, I taught my children to swim, so my children can swim. I
Oh,
could swim a little, but my children are like, they could swim, they could well swim.
Well, maybe one of these days you could teach me to swim, Auntie Gail. Right?
Yes.
Thank you for sharing. Thank
Right now,
you.
my granddaughter is learning to swim.
Divine Love Curtain, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Auntie Gail. Anyone else before we wrap up?
Sister Christine.
Sister Christine.
Yes, pleasant good night.
All right.
I did have an experience when I was on the island with some people I was to work for, some white people. I was the age of 19, and my mother was to go and she couldn't go, so she sent me to go and work for her. So I was on this boat, and there's only water around. And they had the pool also now that, they say when you want, you could go and take a bath in the pool or so. But I know I can't swim, so I just go by the edge and I just sit down there on the step. And then all of a sudden, the sun came. Brian just came and just pushed me in the water, and I knew I couldn't swim, and my head started to go under. And I started to beat up and feeling to see where I could hold on, trying to see if I could hold on, and because I remember it have a railing. So I fight and take it, but I find like it more deep. I'm feeling nothing at all. So I'm fighting to reach up. And then eventually I feel this stepping up, hold on, just pulling myself up, and he just laughing. And pull myself up, and from since that time I went and let him mother do tell him mother what he do, but all she just did, Brian, you shouldn't do that, how them just talk. And that's all. But from since that time, if I had to go in the sea, it's by my ankle. I will sit down on the shore and reach where the water could just roll and hit me and back out. And anytime I go in with any one of them children, I just make sure and tell them, I said, don't even think about going outside there. Just let the water reach by the ankle. Take a dipper and dip and throw. I never liked it to see my children going out there and how people say, come and take a dip now. You just ride it. Let it reach by your knee. I never wanted it to reach that far. Just
I hear you.
by my ankle. And I prayed sea water, I prayed pool water. It's just a fear in me with that. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Sister Christine. And so, we're talking about dwelling together in unity, and there are different, the point I'm trying to make tonight is that we are different. Even though we are different, we can still live together. We have to understand each other. Know that I am not you, you are not me, you are not your sister, you're not your brother. We are all members of this family, LiveRight families, but we are different. We are different. And if because we are different, we can't dwell together, then we have a problem because God made everybody in this world different. So we have to learn to embrace the differences that we have with each other. We're going to continue this next week, next Tuesday. We are going to continue talking about dwelling together in unity as Psalm 133. God bless you. Have a wonderful night. Joshua, I'm handing back over to you for any announcements that have to be made. Although I think we made these announcements earlier, but